So there are millions of them in Japan, and it's very important. And they were spending so much on electricity running their vending machines that they were upset. So they commissioned me to find a way to get rid of all the energy costs associated with the vending machines. And that's where that Coke machine came from. It was a device I did for them. Okay, go ahead. This is a very interesting device. The black thing here, it's again, it's the material that when you put electrical current on it, it generates a lot more electricity than is going into it. It's piezoelectric material. It's the cable. They put the cables under the street and under the highways so that they can do counting of autos are passing by and that sort of thing by the pressure sensitive material. Go ahead. Okay, we're familiar with that, so we can go ahead. Okay, this is a closer look at one of the plasma lobes which I used. Go ahead. And of course, another view of the transformer. And a lot of these views here will be just duplicates. Now this is a different device, which if you notice that it's a Tesla coil wound around a toroid. And the benefit of this is once you get the energy into the toroidal system and it's circulating, you can have however many, you can't see it very good, that there's a tap off of it. You can have as many taps off of that as you want, and each one of them duplicate what this Tesla coil is putting into the, here is a neon tube transformer running the Tesla coil, and here's the red thing is the L1 coil, and the L2 coil is the larger coil on the outside. So that was one of my inventions, is a Tesla coil that ran off of a large toroid. These toroids were from the Los Alamos laboratory. I had about altogether about 6 or 8 of them, I think, that I got as military surplus. But it's very special metal. It also has it's nickel with another mineral which I can't think of just now. But it has very interesting characteristics, which are tend towards the over unity type results. Another view. That device was built for the market in Brazil. They approached me with redoing their entire infrastructure on energy, and we had a deal with written contracts and everything with the Brazilian government and several of the senators there, and they were to raise $200 million to get this thing kicked off. And the problem was that when they got the money raised, the exchange rate was fluctuating in the wrong direction so fast that the amount of money that was left over from the exchange to the new level wiped out anything they had done. So we raised $200 million about half a dozen times, and every time the thing fell through because when we tried to change it back to dollars, which I wouldn't, I had to have some dollars because I had to underwrite the thing myself and pay for all the costs and expenses, and they would pay me with their money. And that just wouldn't work when the exchange rate was so unfriendly. So that thing fell fell through. It's still very much there, and they keep coming back at me about once every year or so, trying to redo it again. That included redoing the set of electrical trains for going across the Pacific. They don't have a Pacific outlet for all the goods and things that are going from Brazil to the Pacific. They have a large contact with the people in China and Japan, and all the goods that they were sending them had to go around the earth in order to get there. And so if they had a direct route through Brazil over the mountains, one of the projects was I was to do electrical train system for Brazil, and this is still very much alive and it's still working if we ever get the details worked out. That's been going on now for more than 10 years. And they have seen my devices and are familiar with them and had their engineers working with me, and they know what I'm doing, and they're very pleased with what I do if they could just access the thing. Okay. This is a close-up of the Japanese energy device for the Coke machine, if you want to see what it looks like. Okay, the input part is over here. This is a milliwatt high voltage Tesla coil type device, and it's like I say, milliwatts, and it's coming through this diode bridge, and it's coming out into a capacitor here that has a certain level of energy in it, and from that it goes into this system here, which you notice these are heat shields, and a very special type of diode here. And what this does, it makes the energy into pulsating DC, which in turn goes through this toroid here, which smooths it out and makes it into alternating current, which can run the Coke machine. And to the Coke machine, after that diode thing there, I mean the coil toroid, it's almost a perfect sine wave, which means that the Coke machine doesn't know the difference. It's still pulsating DC, but the Coke machine seems to think it's alternating current, and it runs on it just fine. So here we are with milliwatts in, and we got about 2 kilowatts out, actually, continuous. Okay.
We're at the end.
We're at the end?
We're at the end.
Okay.
We pruned back so that we could actually have lunch.
Okay. Is there any one of these devices that anyone would like to see or know more about?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them?
Take about 5 minutes so we can change the tape over.
I can't
We're going to go on to another tape. So
We need a 5-minute break.
Okay, we need a break.